Hi, friend, and welcome to Tidy the Clutter podcast. I'm Mariah, and I'm so glad you're here. This is the place where we talk about real-life ways to simplify your home and digital spaces. Let's face it, life gets busy real quick. Between work, kids, emails, and everything else on your plate, it's easy to feel like things are slipping through the cracks. The good news, it doesn't have to stay that way. In each episode, I'll be sharing practical tips, small wins, and simple strategies to help you clear the clutter, both in your physical and digital spaces. You can feel more in control and have more time for what truly matters most to you. Whether it's setting up routines that stick, taming your inbox, or tackling toy chaos, my goal is to make getting organized doable, even on your busiest days. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get started.
Happy New Year! Can you believe it's already 2025? My gosh, I hope your holidays were filled with joy, laughter, and maybe, hopefully, a little bit of relaxation. Who am I kidding? We're moms, so probably not. But I can still hope that you guys were able to relax a little bit. If your house is truly anything like mine, the aftermath of the holidays can feel a bit overwhelming and like a tornado hit your house. Decorations, seasonal clothes, and even those piles of holiday gifts just seem to be everywhere. They don't have a home yet. Well, that's why today we're diving into organizing and storing holiday decorations, seasonal clothes, and even other items. I'm going to be walking you through how to decide what to keep, what to let go of, and how to store the things you love in a way that makes future transition hopefully easier and much less stressful. Whether it's packing up the holiday tree or finding a home for those winter coats, I've got you covered. And don't forget, if you're looking for a little bit of extra guidance, go ahead and grab my holiday decluttering checklist at tidytheclutter.com/011. So, grab your cup of cocoa, your coffee, your tea, whatever makes you happy, and let's start the year off right. Organized and clutter-free, my friend. I want to start by asking you, why does seasonal organization matter? Like, what are your thoughts? What's the first thing that goes through your mind? When I first think about seasonal organization and why it matters, I truly think about tidiness. Now, maybe that's just because organizing and tidying up is a soft spot in my heart. That's probably why. But when seasonal items aren't properly stored, they tend to take over valuable living space, leaving us feeling frustrated and disorganized. After all, who wants to trip over a box of Christmas ornaments in July? Studies have actually shown that clutter can increase stress and even impact your ability to focus. According to a study published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology, yeah, that was a mouthful for me to say, cluttered spaces can overwhelm our senses, making it way harder to relax. By organizing and decluttering seasonal items now, you are not just creating physical space, you're also making more room for mental clarity. For me, organizing seasonal items has been a game changer. I remember the first time I invested in the proper storage bins for our decorations. Not only did it save space, but when the holidays rolled around the following year, everything was so much easier to find and ready to use. No more rummaging through random boxes or dealing with tangled lights. It's amazing how a little organization can save you so much time and stress down the line. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to organize and store seasonal items. Here's my step-by-step approach that I find works every time. The first step is assess each item. Before you start packing items away, take a moment to evaluate what you're storing. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Does it still work? Did the dog break it? Thank you, Jetta, for breaking one of our ornaments. Has it been used in the past few years? Maybe this is an item that is already at the bottom of the tote that you're putting additional things into. Have you used it? Does it still work? Do you still want it? Be honest with yourself. For example, if you have a wreath that's seen way better days, or a strand of lights that hasn't worked, oh my gosh, in years, it's time to let it go. The same goes for seasonal clothing. If it doesn't fit or you didn't wear it this year, consider donating it. One example that I have is last year, I realized I'd been holding on to a few decorations that I hadn't used in years. I kept thinking, oh, I'll fix them up eventually. But the truth was that if I hadn't fixed them in the last couple of years, I probably wasn't going to take the time to do it now. Letting them go not only cleared the space in my storage box, but it also felt like a sigh of relief. It's funny how sometimes letting go feels lighter than holding on. My second step is categorize and label. Once you've decided what to keep, group similar items together. Ornaments, lights, wreaths, seasonal linens. Each category should have its own designated space. Invest in matching bins, whether it's clear ones so you can see what's inside without opening them, or even the sturdy black and yellow totes from Costco. That's what I have. Using the same type of bins makes it easier to stack, which will keep your storage space looking tidy. And don't forget to just label each bin clearly. I mentioned that I use the black and yellow totes from Costco. I simply put masking tape on the front of it and use a Sharpie to label what's in there. One bin might say Christmas ornaments, while another says yard decorations. When everything is labeled, finding what you need becomes a breeze. No more guessing or opening every single bin to find that one thing. Now, my third step that I like to follow is donate unused items. If you find yourself holding on to decorations or seasonal clothing that's in good condition, but you didn't use, and you probably won't use, consider donating them. Local thrift stores or donation centers are always looking for seasonal items. I can't technically say always, because I think it was 2 years ago, I went to take some Christmas items to our local DI, and they apparently had too many seasonal Christmas items. So I had to hold on to them until the beginning of the year, and then I went back, and then they took them. But it was just kind of funny because I've never had that happen. Anyway, knowing that your unused items will bring joy to someone else honestly can make giving them away much easier. My fourth step is use efficient storage. So for decorations, consider investing in ornament organizers, especially if you have glass ornaments. Or if you have a super fancy wreath that you do not want to get bent, use a specialized storage bag just for the wreath. For seasonal clothing, garment bags or vacuum sealed storage bags are a great space saver. And store these items in the designated areas like a basement, an attic, or a storage closet, places where they are out of sight but still accessible when you need them. I recently switched up my wrapping closet to organize all my holiday gift wrapping supplies, and it's been a game changer. No more crumpled rolls of wrapping paper or misplaced ribbons. Everything is easy to find and ready to use, which makes holidays so much less stressful. The fifth step that I use is keep a digital inventory. Sounds very strange, but it's kind of been a game changer, and I'll tell you why. So it might be a little extra. Some people are like, I ain't got no time for that. I am not doing that. Okay, that's fair. But hear me out. Hear me out, okay? Keeping a digital inventory of your seasonal items can save you from buying duplicates or losing track of what you already have. A simple spreadsheet or a notes app works great. Include what's in each bin and even where it's stored. One example that I have is I use a digital inventory to track gifts throughout the year because I may go a little overboard and be one of those people that starts Christmas shopping in July. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But my mom brain is not going to remember the gift I bought in July for my kiddo in November? It's probably not, because I'm going to be looking at ads and seeing the new things or whatever. And I'll be like, yes, I need that to fill this or whatnot. I don't know. The fact is, I probably won't remember what the heck I bought in July. So I use the digital inventory to track my gifts throughout the year. And it has been a game changer. Before, I'd forget that I'd purchased something earlier in the year, only to discover it when I'm pulling everything out to get it wrapped. Now, everything gets added to my inventory as I buy it. I know exactly what I have. Plus, I think it's a great way to keep track of how much we're spending. Once it's in my inventory, and I specify if it's for a birthday or a different holiday, I also add it to my digital budget, and I'm golden. Shameless plug. If you are interested in an awesome Google Sheets budget tracker, because I swear I have tried 100 throughout the years, from paper to digital to, gosh, everything, I feel like. Anyway, let me know and I'd be happy to share my favorite tool with you. Now, if you are feeling overwhelmed by post-holiday clutter, grab my holiday decluttering checklist. It can help take the guesswork out of organizing and storing decorations and even other seasonal items. It's literally designed to make the process simple and stress-free. You can download it for free at tidytheclutter.com/011. Even with the best intentions, organizing seasonal items isn't always smooth sailing. Life happens and some obstacles are bound to pop up. Here are some real life scenarios that you might face, because maybe I have faced, and this is how you can potentially work through them. Imagine this. You're going through a box of holiday decorations and you come across a few things that tug at your heartstrings. Maybe it's an ornament that your child made years ago, or a set of heirloom decorations from a family member. You know you don't really use them, but parting with them just hurts your heart. Here's what I've learned. It's okay to feel sentimental, but you don't have to keep everything to hold on to the memory. Choose 1 or 2 meaningful items to keep and consider letting the rest go. If you're struggling, take a photo of the item before donating it. This way, you really preserve the memory without keeping the physical clutter. This year, since we were merging Christmas decorations together, my mom and I were organizing, tidying, decluttering, and it all kind of seemed to go and happen at once, which is fine. It worked. I found that I had some ornaments that I hadn't put on the tree for years since I'd been with Nate. I was holding on to them because of my early memories with my oldest daughter, but they were simply taking up space in my ornament storage. I looked at them once more this year and I decided, it was time to get rid of them. Those weren't the only ornaments that I have for those special moments, but I feel good about getting rid of these ones. And let's face it, not all of us have sprawling basements or attics to store seasonal items. Maybe you're working with a small closet or a corner of your garage or even just a few shelves. The key here is to recognize the space you do have and make the most out of it. Instead of wishing for more room, think strategically about how to maximize what you have available. Treat your storage areas kind of like containers. Just like a drawer or a box has a finite capacity, your storage space does too. This means you may need to make a tough decision about what stays and what goes. But ask yourself, does this item earn its spot in the limited space I have? By keeping only what you truly use and love, you are naturally freeing up room for what matters. In our home, we are using a corner space in our garage. Knowing this, I limit what we store. For holiday decorations, I prioritize the items we use every year, like the tree ornaments and the wreath. Everything fits into the storage totes, and if something new comes in, either something else goes out or I see how I can adjust my totes. This is a system that keeps our storage area manageable and decently clutter-free. Some practical tips here that I have found useful is using stackable bins to maximize your vertical space on shelves, and storing lightweight or less frequently used items in a harder to reach area, like high shelves or even under furniture. And then use multi-functional storage solutions like ottomans with hidden compartments or under bed storage bins to sneak in an extra space where you can. By recognizing that your storage space has limitations and tailoring your system to fit them, you're creating a more sustainable setup. It's not about having endless space. It's about making the space you do have work smarter for you. Let's talk about that all too familiar feeling of overwhelm. Maybe you've pulled out all of your seasonal items to sort through and suddenly it feels like too much. The thought of packing it all or deciding what to keep feels paralyzing, to say the least. Here's my advice. Break it into smaller tasks. Start with one category, like the ornaments or outdoor decorations, and tackle that first. You don't have to do everything in one day. You could set a timer for 15 minutes. Focus on just one area and stop when the timer goes off. Those small wins are going to build your momentum. Last year, as I was putting out our holiday decorations, I made a point to go through each bin one at a time. If I pulled out an ornament that was broken or hadn't been used in years, I immediately set it aside to donate or toss. This way, I decluttered while putting things out. And by the time I was done, the bins went back into storage and they were lighter and so much more organized when it was time to put the holiday decorations away. It didn't feel overwhelming because I wasn't sorting through everything at once. I was simply editing as I went. By decluttering as part of your natural routine, whether you're decorating or packing things away, you make the process feel much less overwhelming. It becomes part of the flow rather than a separate, daunting task. Seasonal organization is the perfect opportunity to get the whole family assigned tasks based on age and ability to make the process faster and more efficient. Younger kids can help by packing lightweight items like ornaments, while older kids or partners can handle heavier bins or labeling. The key is to work together so that the task feels manageable and shared. Turn on some Christmas music, set that timer, and turn it into a game. Keep things lighthearted. When everyone contributes, not only does the job get done faster, but it also builds a sense of teamwork and that shared responsibility. Organizing and storing seasonal items does not have to be stressful. By assessing what you have, categorizing and labeling your bins, and working through your items as part of your routine, you can create a system that's sustainable and simple. When you involve your family, it not only lightens your workload, but it also teaches valuable skills and creates meaningful moments together. If you are ready to tackle your seasonal clutter, but aren't sure where to start, don't forget to grab the free holiday decluttering checklist at tidytheclutter.com/011. It's packed with practical tips to help you organize everything from holiday decorations to seasonal clothing so you can really reclaim your space and feel ready to tackle the year ahead. Now, next week, we'll be talking about creating a calm, organized bedroom, one that feels like a true retreat. We'll cover decluttering nightstands, closets, and those little hot spots that tend to add stress to your bedtime routine. I'll be sharing tips for turning your bedroom into a space that promotes better sleep and relaxation. Mamas, you aren't going to want to miss it. If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a family member or friend who might find it helpful. And don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. I will chat with you next week. Have a great first week of 2025. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Tidy the Clutter podcast. I hope you're leaving today with at least one small step that you're excited to take. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and building on it little by little. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love it if you'd give the podcast a follow and leave a quick review. It really helps others find the show and join us on this journey toward less stress and more ease. And if you're looking for more tips, resources, or just a bit of extra motivation, head over to tidytheclutter.com, and everything you need to stay organized and feel more in control is waiting for you there. Until next time, keep things simple, stay focused, and enjoy those small wins along the way. Take care and talk soon.